Saul Rubenfeld. Saul Rubenfeld.
Did you have any other names?
No.
When were you born?
1924.
Where were you born?
In Poland, Rajcha.
What was your father's name?
Isaac Ignaz. We call him Polish Ignaz and Hebrew Isaac.
Was he from Rajcha too?
He was born someplace else, but I don't remember.
Was it in Poland?
Pardon?
Was it in Poland?
Yes, in Poland.
What was he like?
Oh, he was profession of baker, but he finished as a child musical conservatorium, and he was playing on every instrument you have given to him, and his one wish was that I could play like him, but I was too stupid to learn.
Did he play music for you and your family a lot?
Did I what?
Did he play a lot of music for you?
I didn't understand.
Did he play music for you?
Yes.
Yes. But he was a baker?
Oh, he was a baker, and he had a bakery, and but he preferred to play music. And the one thing was bad in our family that I remember as a child, that my mother always was saying, "You prefer to play music, that's why we lost the baker."
What was your mom's name?
My mother's name was Olga.
Where was she from?
She was from Żywiec. This is about 20 kilometers from Rajcha.
What was she like?
She was a wonderful woman. She was unbelievable good, and she had a very good heart. Any poor person came into our house, my mother had already prepared food for them. And afterwards, when the poor woman complained and cried, my mother cried with her.
What did she do before the war?
Before the war, she didn't have any profession. No.
Did you have any siblings?
Oh, yes. My grandfather had 11 children, 9 daughters and 2 sons. And my mother was one of the 4th or something from the family. And every sister had a child. So when there was meeting, so there were about 50 kids over there, because so many family.
Did you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes. My father had a brother, and his brother, very strong man, and they were playing. He was older than my father, and they were playing, and they put beans in each ears. And afterwards, nobody knew about it. But my father's brother was running to the school. He was late, and the teacher was allowed to hit children when they were late or whatever. So he hit him on the face, and he broke the drums from my uncle. And so afterwards they found out that my father has also beans in the ears. So they took them to hospital, and my father had a broken drums, but he adjusted the drums according the teacher showed him, and he could play, he could hear, could do everything.
Did you have any brothers or sisters?
He didn't have any.
Did you?
Me, yes. I had two sisters, and one was the older one. She was very smart, and always the teacher was coming to our house and saying that she is a genius. The older sister, the younger sister was not good, and so I loved them dearly.
What were their names?
Selma, the oldest, and Cecilia, the younger.
Did you have any brothers?
Yes, one brother.
What was his name?
Michael. He was the oldest, and I was the youngest.
Do you have any memories of your cousins?
Yes. I had very nice cousins, and not especially nothing, but I just remember whenever we were fighting, they were helping me.
Did they live in your town?
Pardon?
Did they live in the same town?
In the same town?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Where did they live?
They lived in Żywiec. This was about 20 kilometers from my place, from my hometown.
What was your home like?
A wonderful place. Rajcha, it was the place for sick and for TB people. That's why there was a hospital that we were not allowed to walk the place where the hospital was, because the TB is very contagious. And my mother, she was so good that she all the time found out few what they were sick. And I remember till now that she sent me to deliver some food. And she told me, try not to breathe over there, because they have TB. And
what language did you speak at home?
Polish. But my father and mother, they were speaking German, and fluently German.
When did you learn English?
Pardon?
When did you learn English?
Oh, when I was in Israel, and afterwards when I came to the United States.
In Rajcha, were there a lot of Jewish people?
There were about maybe 10, 12 families, Jewish families, and we had our synagogue, and the children, we all played next to the synagogue, and we put flowers, and we loved to, be next to synagogue, because there was a place for playing soccer, playing all different things.
Was your family religious? Your
Yes,
family?
yes.
Do you remember celebrating Jewish holidays?
Oh yes, yes. We all over there in Raicha, every Jewish family celebrated Jewish holiday, and I remember when we get a new clothes or whatever, everybody was coming and saying Titadesh, Titadesh.
What does that mean?
Pardon?
What does Tit Hadesh mean?
Or Titadesh, that you nice thing that will get nice. That's not really much sense.
What was school like in Raicha?
We had a Polish school over there, and the teacher in the Polish school, he came from south, and when he came first, so he was very not so wonderful to Jews. And he came in, and I remember the first grade that he took my head and hit to the board because I didn't know something. But afterwards, we got acquainted, and I was a captain in a team of soccer and handball. And he saw how I played. He started to be my good friend. And I remember he was wonderful to me. And whenever he wanted to spank somebody, so he sent me to go cut up piece of wood and to bring it, and he spanked somebody. But he was very good to me, and even when we were playing, same from Świeczek Siódmy, this month means a king of Poland. He made me the king. And I remember that the priest came in, and I was sitting on the chair of priest, and he was shaking my hand, and they told me you have to kiss his ring. I did it, and I played this, and I got ovation very much, and I played the king, and till today I remember the whole wording from the king to the whole piece of acting, and everything did the Polish teacher.
Did the other kids in school treat you poorly because you were Jewish?
Yes, not me especially, because I was stronger than any, but I still have a letter someplace, what the friends from England, what they were, writing to me and thanking me for protecting them in school. In school, they were very anti-Semitic, and whenever, the youngsters, younger boys also from me, they were running on the exercises, so they hit them. And the boys were coming to me and crying, this guy hit me, and this guy hit me. and so I had to stop to it. And I made myself that I will do it. And I told them, you show me the guy who hit you. So I was going and to see the guy. When I came up, I saw this guy is about 6 feet tall. So what, I will fight him, how I will fight him. But I could not go back. So I told him, why are you beating them? What they did to you? So he says, you go, you Jew, and push me. When he pushed me, I jumped and caught him by the neck. And we both fell in on the wall of the school. But he hit his head on the wall, and he started to bleed. So the other boys start to say, Jew beating our boy. So everybody come to run, and it came run the teacher, my teacher. So my teacher saw what happened, and he asked me, Saul, what did you do? I told him, he always beating them, I had to stop it. So he took me on side to the class. He says, you did all right. And that was but otherwise I wasn't afraid in class, in school.
Did your family ever experience anti-Semitism in your town?
No, my family were, if I want to tell you the whole story, I tell you, my father and mother, when was told that we had to go to a school and the Germans will come and to see if we are fit to work or not or so. So my father and mother was walking by each other, and my sister and me were walking separately. So my father and mother was put, then there was an SS-man holding a white key, and he was playing like he is musician, and he say that my father and mother have to go to Auschwitz, and me and my sister to work. So we saw my mother and father stood opposite but away from us. So we told my mother, come here, quick. They are not looking, the SS, so you could come here. So my mother walked towards us, but she came there and she says, what happened to your father? So we said, we will try to do the same thing. So I called my father, come on, quick, nobody looking. My father says, no, I cannot go. I don't want to be hit by this. So my mother says, if my father is going there, so I have to go with him. And she went back to him. After about half hour, they were all taken to the cattle train, put on the cattle train, and pushed in like, and they all start to cry and yell, water, water. But nobody gives them water. And my father and mother went with the lady what we were living in This was Mrs. Reichenbaum. She had two beautiful girls, Lucia and Manusha, and she went with them. They were 12 and 13. She went with them also to the cattle train. And so my mother and father, we didn't hear nothing about. We knew that he went to Auschwitz, but we heard from the conductor, Polish guy, what he drove the train. He says that Mrs. Reichenbaum, the mother of the two girls, didn't want to give the girls to the Germans. So she was holding with both hands the two girls. So they hit her with the bayonet on head, and they split the head. And that's what we heard from the conductor on this.
Do you remember what year that was?
In 1939.
Was that the first time that the Nazis were in your
Oh,
town?
no. It was already over a year we were over there we were in ghetto, Jewish ghetto in Sucha. And in the Jewish ghetto, we were enough already prosecuted, and we ran from place to place, to be hit if you went in the wrong place or so on. Oh, this is the whole story. You want to hear this story? I could tell you.
Can you tell us when the Nazis first came to your town?
No, we were in ghetto. Ghetto was Sucha, and we could, inside the place, we could go to wherever, but we could not walk, only two at a time, not three. One time we walked three, my friend and me, and one girl was walking in the middle. The policeman came up to us and he slapped my friend, because my friend was taller than me, so he didn't hit me, but he slapped him on the face, and then he says, "Once more I catch you, so I kill you." And so we were in the ghetto, we had to do whatever they want us. But in the ghetto, the whole story, if you want to know, in the ghetto, we were told to come to work for the Germans. And every Jewish family were scared to send the family member there. So they came up to me if I want to be paid to go and on the place from the father or whoever. And I, first of all, we needed money, so I agree. I went. So when I went to work there, one time I was working together with one dentist, Jewish dentist. He was tall, 6 feet. So we came in, and the Paul, it was in charge. This was a sergeant, Austrian sergeant. So this Paul, wasn't there. So the two of the police students, what they were in the school, called us, "Hey, Jews, come." So we went, him and me, to him, and they told us, "Run to the 5th floor and back. Who will be the first? I didn't want it to do. He says, you better go if you don't want to be shot. So I didn't say nothing. I started to run with him. I was running on the railing side, so I hold myself a little bit, but he didn't. And he was sweating all wet. He was a big man and so on. And we were running and so until we came back. And they were laughing what they score us. So Paul, the guy in charge, the sergeant, he noticed it, and he came up to us and he started to yell, "You Jews, you playing over here, and I need to do work. I have so much work to do." So he says, "Come with me." So he had to do this way that the police will not, be mad on him. So he took us in the room and with the stick start to hit the table and yelling. So they were thinking that he is hitting us. And they were laughing. They were so happy. But he was a very nice man. He was Austrian. He was not German. That's why he was so nice. So that's what we were there. And after, we were over there at the work there, whatever they wanted, so we had to do. So there, he called me and he told me, tomorrow you bring 10 people over here. Tell the Jewish agency to send 10 people. I say, okay. So we went home, and the next day I told the Jewish agency that he is asking for 10 people, so we have to come. So my sister and many Jewish youngsters went to work in the morning. In the morning, the trucks were waiting for us. So we jumped inside the truck. So we went in one truck, and the German police and the students were in the other truck. And he went with us, the Paul. So we went to work. When we came to the place, this was a village, Polish village. They had order to leave all the homes and leave empty homes. So the Polacks left the homes, and because the Germans from Berlin were supposed to come on their place. So the Paul told us, you have a job. You have to go to each of the homes and pick up the holy pictures what every Polak has on the wall, and come on the top of the hill. There will be a fire, and you have to throw the picture in the fire. And you have to go so that you could show the Magen David, the Jewish star, that they could make a picture of you. We say, okay. So I went down to the homes, and every of our boys and girls went to different homes and so on. I went to one home, and there was a big picture of Jesus' mother. So I took it, it was heavy. I took it and I started to walk to the top of the hill. The Polish woman passing by, she says, "What are you doing with the picture? You threw into the fire. Give it to me. How could you do this? This is God's mother." I am looking all over if somebody sees it. And I say, "I cannot. I have to take it down. Please, please." And he pulling from me the picture. So I'm saying, "But remember, if somebody catch you, don't tell him that I gave the picture to you." She says, "No, I wouldn't do this." So that's what she took the picture, and she had a skirt she put over the picture, and she started to walk. As soon as she started to walk, the one of the police yelling, "Halt, halt." I had to stop, and she stopped scared. So he runs up to us and he tells us what you did, why you gave the picture to her. He saw everything from the forest. So before I could even say anything, she says, "He gave it to me." She was so scared, shaking. So he says, "Come with me." I had to take the picture and walk with him. I had to walk to the house where the picture was, and he told me to take off my shoes. And I took my shoes off, and he tells me, "Jump on the stove." And the stove was still hot. And how could I jump on? I say, "I cannot, it's too hot." And he laughs. He says, "You better, if you don't want to be shot." So I jump on and I cannot stand, so I start to jump on it. So he laughing with the gun running near me. I saw I cannot do it anymore. I saw the window was open. I jumped through the window. And I started to run straight to the top of the mountain where Paul was standing there. So I came to the top. He was shooting, but I don't know if he wanted to shoot me. So I came up, and the Paul sees me without shoes. He says, "Where are your shoes?" So I told him the whole story. So he got mad, and he says, "They are only students. I have to say, not them. Come with me, show me who is this." And I am afraid to show him, because I knew that he will shoot me. So I try not to do it, but I couldn't. So I walked with him, and passing by, he was whistling, and they all came up and stood in line. So with my shoulder, I show him who was this, because I was afraid to show him with the hand. So he called him out, "Stand up," and he started to yell, "You are only to learn and he yelled and yelled and yelled. I was standing on side. I was thinking, now for sure he will shoot me. But I couldn't do nothing. So when Paul finished, and he told them go back. So I start to walk after Paul. The Paul start to go to the top hill, and I start to walk after him. He looked at me, but he didn't say a word. So I came to the top of the hill, and afterwards my sister came over there, and she started to talk to him. So one of the students passed by, and he was saying, Rassenschande. You know what it means. Rassen, race, shame to the race. Because Paul was talking to my sister, and she is different race, and he is different. So he told him, Rassenschande. So he got so mad, and he started to yell and scream. He got scared, because they could report him that he is too nice to Jews or whatever. And they were all so scared. So this was about, there is so much more. But if I would tell you, it would take all the time. There was in the same village, there was a group, Jews, about 12 people, what they were doing jobs for Germans when they were called, the Germans were called to fix the door or to do this or to do, so they were going. The group went into one place, and there was one man. He was he was retired soldiers, invalid, and he told the head of the group, I need to fix this, and I need to write them. And he told him, I don't have time now. As soon as he left, he called up to Auschwitz and reported this to SS. And next day, 2 SS were already there. And when they came in, they looked for him, for the foreman, and they got him, and they took him to a small room in the police station and shot him. And afterwards, there was so much blood that they could not walk in. So the other young people, what they were to clean up, they had to work for the whole day to clean up from the blood from the guy and he left 2 children and wife. All the time, everywhere where you went, there was danger. We were walking on the street, and youngsters, 12 years, 11 years, 14 years, they were running with the guns and shooting to us. And we had to run through the river just to escape them. It was unbelievable. And it's so much more that I have. But to tell you everything is unbelievable. There was, they were 3 Polish girls, or they were from the school, what was the school the parents. And they came and they got acquainted with me, and so they were pretty good. One was Katya, Genia, and the third one. So they came first time we got acquainted, they brought us oranges. I looked on orange, I say, what is it? I never have seen orange before. In Poland, we didn't have oranges, only in Czechoslovakia. The girls told me that they have uncle, but the uncle is SS man, the head of the ghetto over there. And they were very nice to me. They were bringing some food sometimes and so on, and very friendly. One time even when I got sick, they went to the doctor of the camp, and he told that Katya told the doctor, if he doesn't get well, you all going to Auschwitz. The girls were so, to tell the doctor something like this, you know. And we you know, that one time they are coming from the mother of the assessment. This was the grandmother for the girls. They coming and they telling me, you know what grandma told me? I say, what? Says that if you want, you can come to her and you can stay till the war will be over. And afterwards you can go home. I say, how could I do something like this? They would have taken my sisters and killed them. They were ruthless. And there is so much more that I could tell you. But this is the whole story. If you want to hear the whole story, I could tell you. All right?
What were the conditions like in the ghetto?
We were like free over there, but we could not go there. We had to be very careful when the SS-man or the policeman walking. You had to bow. You are like a prisoner. And you are afraid. Like when there was almost every week we had to come and we were checked. If we have gold, we have money, we have something, you know, they looked even in backside. We were like naked almost, and they looked. So there, one day, my cousin, Edka, she come running to me, and she telling me, you know what, my father is over there and he is going to Auschwitz, they will kill him. So I say, Edka, what can you do? So she says, I don't know, maybe I go and I beg them to free my father. So I say, try. So she went in, and there was one of SS Ludwig. She came up and she went to the feet and kissed his boots. So he kicked her. When he kicked her, she started to cry and run, and she did everything possible to go to Auschwitz. She says she wants to go with the father. And what happened? She went to Auschwitz. And I heard, I don't know that it's true, that when she went to Auschwitz, there are wires, electrocuted. So she went and ran and cut by hand the wires, and she got electrocuted. And that's what was with Edka. Very sweet, wonderful cousin. She was my mother's sister, daughter.
How did you get food in the ghetto?
The food over there, when was a soup and peas potato for lunch, we were very happy. We got for breakfast a quarter of bread, and this quarter you took care, you ate only half, because you could not finish everything, because otherwise you wouldn't have what to eat in the evening. So what we put away the rest. But the lunch, when we came in, so we had a hot boiled soup, water with potato, and many times, I remember like now, like my friend was sitting on side and eating the soup and crying. And I say, why are you crying? He says, they didn't give me the potato. I said, that's why you're crying? He says, yes, I don't have what to eat, I'm hungry. And that's what was the food. And we had hard time with the food. We one time we got from, this must have come from Japan, a barrel of slimy, some I don't know what was this, and we ate this. This looked so terrible that just look on this you can throw up. But you ate, and you was very happy to eat. You see, I tell you some what happened to me. I got one time, I came to the whole group, we came to one of the camps, and I came out from the truck, and I see somebody there that I know, and this was my friend, long time I haven't seen him, and so he saw me and he said, Saul, what you doing here? I say, they brought me here, I don't know what I'm doing with what. So he was a cook, so he took such he had some, to kill with the hand, and he says, I give you some food because you will be going to different camps and you must be hungry. I say, I am hungry, but so I took it, and it was still hot. So I didn't want to eat right away, because we were put on trucks and we were going one direction to I forgot the place, this we were going to one of the camps. So we drove few hours in the trucks. And driving, so I didn't want it to eat when it is shaking and so on. So when we came, stop for a little while, 15, 20 minutes, so I started to eat. I didn't realize that this was sour, because we were few hours already in this, and I got it hot. So I ate sour food. Okay, for a little while, nothing happened. Afterwards, I start to feel that I want to throw up. And I got so sick. I can hardly sit in the truck. So what happened? We coming to the place, to the camp. When we came over there, I could not walk. So they took me down on the stretchers. When they were carrying me on the stretchers, so there the nurse from the girls, from the other side, there was a camp of the girls, Jewish girls, over there. So she saw me by the name Yetka Ribner. And she saw me and she runs up to me. So there is standing a assessment, and he is in charge on the group, and he asking her, who you are that you going to him? So she says, he's my brother. He says, brother, what is your name? So she says, Ribner. So how, he has different name. She says, yes, he's not from the same father, but he's my brother. So he says, he asking her, do you understand, you are the nurse? She says, yes, I'm the doctor and the nurse. So he asking her, can you look on me and can you see what is with me? So she says, yes, you have syphilis. So he says, yes. Can you heal me? He asking her. So she says, I do my best. I will. But please allow me to heal him also, to my brother. So he says, okay. So he allowed her to come to the room where I was laying. And she came and she was giving the shots for me and for him. And she was a doctor like and so on. So it took about 2-3 weeks. I got well, and she was still giving him the shots. One day she got sick. So he went and wanted to see her, because he was very grateful that she is giving him the shot. So he went in and he sat down on the chair near her and so on. But at the time I was there too. But when I saw that he's coming, so I jumped under bed. I was hiding and waiting that he will go. I felt already good and so on. Then afterwards, they are giving, there are elevators everywhere in the factory. This is a cotton factory, and the elevator and the girls working for the factory. So what happened? I I was sent to help the elevator man because the elevator man got very sick. And he was older man, so I was put over there. So before the elevator man went home, he told me, remember, you have the key from elevator, but don't you move. Stay in the elevator and they will not touch you. But if you move it, this they can say is sabotage. You know what is sabotage? So I say, okay, all right. But being me, I can hear with one ear and goes out the other ear. I am with the elevator, so I take and I move the elevator and go on third floor, because over there they were the girls, what I knew, and so, and there was also a cousin of mine, and so. So when I went with the elevator and I was coming down, 2 SS was passing by, and with the head of the whole factory. And they running straight to the elevator and knocking open. They say that the head of the factory says, I sent the man home because he's sick. This is sabotage. And they yelling, it's sabotage. And they say, open, aufmachen, if not, we are shooting. And I am standing in the elevator, and I look up and I say, God, prove to me that you are here. If I come out alive, I will always believe in you. And I was standing and I didn't move. They knocking, and I don't answer. Afterwards, they calling the electrician, and the electrician have maybe 50 keys over there, and the electrician comes in and he say, oh yes, I can open it right away. He runs to the door and trying to put the key, and trying every key, no key fits. When I saw this, I was thinking, thank God that this. So he says, the electrician, I had the key in my hand and I don't believe that it is. So he says, I have to go see if I didn't leave on my table. So he goes in from the elevator, and the 2 SS and the head of the whole, when it's standing by the door, they hear a yell, you Jews, you Jews, you. There was one with a wooden leg, and he, every time he saw a Jew or whatever, he kicked him. So the Jewish guy was screaming, and he was yelling on him. So what happened? They wanted to see what is the screams. So they ran, the 2 SS and this ran to the other room to look. Who is this? What is happening? In the same time, the Yetka Ribner, the nurse, she saw everything standing in the door of the building where she was. She runs to the door and quietly tells me, come out quick, quick. And I open quietly the door, and I run with her. She holds me by hand and takes me to the barrels, cotton barrels, and we hiding, and there were maybe thousands of the barrels, and we going deeper and deeper and deeper, and we came out alive. And from this on, I tell you honestly, I would never, never forget that God is here. There is only one God. And I believe it because this was miracle. These two SS didn't go home empty. They took a boy, what he was my friend. He was only 13 when he went to concentration camp with me, and the mother was crying and asking me, please take care of him. I told her I do my best. I don't promise nothing, but I do my best to. And he didn't have the food what he used to get. He looked like skeleton, real exactly like skeleton. He was sitting on a, even Germans didn't wanted him to work anymore. He was sitting on a pole like, and afterwards they brought from different camps one girl, and she had cataract, and she couldn't see. So they brought her there. And the two SS didn't go empty. They had him and her. They hold each other hand, and they were walking with two SS. With two SS, they were walking and going to Auschwitz. If you went to Auschwitz, nothing will take you out. This is, and my father, when he went to Auschwitz, after we were liberated, the doctor from the camp, he went to Auschwitz in the same day we were liberated. And by the door he opened, and there was picture of my father laying, and I know what was happening. The picture was because my father, when they touched my mother, he didn't pay attention. He must have fought with them because he would give life for my mother. And so on. And there is so much more I would tell you. It's, you know, if you have enough time, yes.
We have time.
Yeah. Okay, I could tell you. We
What
were.
was the name of the concentration camp that you were in with the cotton?
Okay, we were in the camp. In the camp, what the girls were there, not Gabelsdorf, in one of the camps, important. And we were there, and we were notified that we are all transferred to Auschwitz, to be in prison, because we were like free over there. We were transferring the machines and so, and we will not do it. So we were sent to Waldenburg. Waldenburg, when we came to Waldenburg, there was only two wires around, and two buildings standing empty. So we went there, the whole Freiburg. You see, I forgot the Freiburg. We were in Freiburg in the camp where the girls were there. And from Freiburg, we were transferred to Waldenburg. And Waldenburg, it was the wire, two places with wires and so on. So we went to, and we are sent to concentration camp. From this time on, we were called concentration camp. So we came over there, and there was waiting one SS. He was the Lagerführer, the head of the camp, and few SS standing over there. So as soon as we came over there, he made appeal. We had to stand in line and so on. And he talked to us that you will have a camp over here, you will stay here in the concentration camp, and I am your Lagerführer, and you have to obey what I am talking, and so if not, so he's showing us there is a dog, the German Shepherd standing near him. So I sent him on you, and he's carrying and telling. So afterwards, and I had boils under my arm, so I told my doctor, my doctor was from my town. So I told him, Cuba, I told him, you, and so I say, Cuba, see here, I have balls, what I do? He says, oh, I have a way, he says. I say, what? Go to the Lagerführer and tell him that you have boils under the hands, so maybe he will give you a doctor. So I'm thinking, and who will go to the assessment and talk to him right away? So I am thinking, oh, I will. I am going to him, I am standing, Achtung, and I am telling him, Herr Lagerführer, I have a boils under the, and I pick up the hand, and he looking at me, and he says, I don't have a doctor. There is no doctor here in the camp. I can do nothing. So I say, Herr Lagerführer, will you excuse me, but there is a doctor, and the doctor is with my group. He says, what? They didn't tell me this. He says, send him right away to me. And I go way back and I tell Cuba, he wants to talk to you. So he goes to him and he says, you are the doctor? And he says, yes. And so he says, this barrack will be hospital. And this will be, and he tell him everything. And I need also Verpflegungsschreiber. You know what is Verpflegungsschreiber? Improvisation man. What he is taking care on improvisation. This is Verpflegungsschreiber in Germany. So he says, you go and you have to prepare everything and come back to me. The Dr. Cuba, he's very happy. At least he's become doctor now. And he goes out. He calls his brother, Józek. His brother was studying in Vienna to become a doctor. and he tells him, "You are improvisation man." And he says, "Okay, we need beds, we need this." He writes down and giving to the SS, other worker, that that's what I need for the hospital. And he says, "And you will be my helper to me." What you asking for more when you are in camp like this? And so I was very happy. But the SS man didn't live in it. He makes right away appeal. Everybody had to stand lines, 4 at a time. And he tell us, fall down. We have wooden shoes, we have shoes on. You, somebody standing in front of you, this is two steps. We have to fall on his feet. And afterwards, when we fall, he says, roll. You have to start to roll. And the feet hitting the pace, and we rolling with, and he stands quietly, nothing. We stopped out, he takes different exercise. And when we were through, we couldn't, it was hurting here, everywhere, because from the feet, from the other guys and so on. And so, afterwards, the hospital started to be built, and the improvisation man, he was over the kitchen, so he already had the right to do whatever, So who is coming to him? Is coming two of the couple. I don't know if you heard about couple. Couple, it was one of the foremans made by SS. And the couple, he was worse than the SS. They were Jews, what they were worse than the dogs. And they wanted just to punish you as much like the SS and so on. So they were two of them. What they were terrible. I will tell you the story a little bit later, how I got 12 on backside for nothing. And I had broken my backside with blood flowing on my feet, and so, and I wasn't guilty at all. So there's these two couple coming to my friend, to the improvisation man, and they say, "Listen, Yusek, we are hungry." The improvisation man now is in charge of the bread, of everything. So he goes in, takes a bread, and he says, "You have one, you have one." And they, thank you, and going away. I see it, and I got mad. Why I got mad? Because these two guys wanted to send him to Auschwitz. These two guys did everything possible that he will go with the two SS men, what they were there, to Auschwitz. And I say, this is, thank you, you're thanking them for sending you to Auschwitz. And he looking at me and smiling. he says, Saul, one thing you have to know. When he doesn't have and I don't have, that's we don't have. But when I have and he doesn't have, you cannot not to give him his bread. He is hungry, so he has to have the peace bread, and I have it. So what could I say? He was such a wonderful man.
In Waldenburg, did you get a number? In the camp in Waldenburg, did you have a uniform and a number?
Number for
A number in Waldenburg?
Yes, 64,305. 64,305. This was my number.
How did you feel when they gave you the number?
How I feel? I was like a dog number, that's it. 64,305.
What were the conditions like at Waldenburg?
So over there, it was, you see, first of all, I was favored by the doctor and by the Verpflegungsschreiber. So the doctor and the Verpflegungsschreiber were the brothers. So they gave me any time, many times a week, pieces bread, slices bread, they gave me, and I put a belt over it, and I carry, and they told me, give to this guy, give to this guy, give to this guy, and I was giving my friends what I knew and so on. There was one by the name Heischerig. The Heischerig had planned to escape, and that's what I had all the time in my mind, to escape. One day we were marching, and we had planned we will escape in about a week and so on, because my shoes were not ready. And I tell you about the shoes very soon. So we are walking, marching, and going to the gate, and I look, and I got shot. 2 guys were hanging, and they wanted to escape. And the Lagerführer showing, see here, they wanted to escape. That's what they got. And I was thinking, I don't want to be hanging like that. And so on.
Where did you sleep?
Pardon?
In Waldenburg, where did you sleep?
What?
Where did you sleep in Waldenburg?
I had a bed with a straw. I have to tell you about this, about bed. I had a bed with a straw. When the Heischerig, the friend, what I say, he escaped eventually. And when he escaped, it was winter, and his toes all got frozen. When he was caught by the Germans, he was put in the hospital from my friend Cuba, where I had a friendship with the doctor. So he was laying over there, and afterwards he asked me, Saul, you know, I would like to stay a little bit longer, but the Lagerführer was looking through the door, and he saw that he's jumping, So he says he has to go to work. So, but when he has to go to work, he doesn't have where to sleep. So he comes to me. Saul, I don't have where to sleep. You know, everybody where I want to sleep, they threw me out. So I say, okay, so come to my bed. I took him to my bed. So he lays in my bed for day 2, 3. One day, the head of the Stubenälteste, you know what it means, the one in charge of the room, he was a German Jew. He started to cry. He says, can you imagine, I had a quarter of a bread here and somebody stole my quarter bread. I say, what? Who could have been? He says, I am going to check every bed who stole my bread. So I am going with him and we checking bread. We coming to my bed. He says, no, I know you wouldn't steal my bread. I go in the morning and I start to move my straw because it was not right. And I see the bread is laying here. The bread. I look, I got mad. I am thinking, I am taking this guy to my bed. I help him out. He is stealing from somebody, you know, bread. I call him and I say, Heischerik, you put immediately the bread to him. He says, what, you stupid, you doing so much for me. You gave me your bread, half of your bread, and I cannot do something. I say, you crook, you taking somebody bread you want to give me, and so give him right away the bread back. So he mad, but he goes in. When he was outside the Stubenälteste, he put the bread in the straw. The Stubenälteste comes in and so on, and we are cleaning our beds and so, and he finds the bread. And he starts to dance and jumping. Oh, Saul, I have the bread, I have the, you know, somebody, what a nice guy, somebody give me the bread. This Heischerik, from this time on, he was not a friend of mine, he was enemy. He could not forgive me this. Why? When we came out, he opened his, mouth and talk, So, what I did, what I understood. And he got the bread, and I was very happy. This German Jew, he was very nice guy, and so on. And so we had the bed. So, but this Heischerik was walking without the toes. He had, very bad. He couldn't walk and so on. He was in trouble. So when I don't want to jump too far, but when we came out, I am ashamed even to tell you, this Heischerik went in to the German families and he scares them that he will kill them if they will not give him the ring and jewelry or what. That's what he did. this was dirty hysteria. I don't know, I shouldn't have told you this. Okay, so I tell you a little bit about after concentration camp, okay? When after concentration camp, when we were freed, I came in to New Palestine. You heard about New Palestine? No. There, near Salzburg, it was a place that it was called New Palestine, and we were, all the Jews from after the war, the youngsters and so on, we came in over there and we stayed there. We got food and so on. The head of the place was a director of UNRWA, United Nations, by the name Pięcikiewska. Mrs. Pięcikiewska was a major from Montgomery headquarters. She was a Polish Polak. And I, speaking Polish, I didn't know any other language before. So I had a very common language with her. And we were very, you see, I was working also for UNRWA, United Nations. I was elected by the teenagers, youngsters, as a president of teenage. And I was making the dances, skiing, soccer, and all other exercise and so on. They were made by me. I mean, I had to give the permission and so on. Being over there, so not for long, I decided, that it was so that there was a Jewish agency, and the president of the Jewish agency came up to me and he says, Saul, we have to think about Israel. We have to go to Israel. You have so many teenagers, and so they could fight for Israel, and so on. I said, so what do you want from me? What can I do? And so he says, but they all waiting that you will wanted to go, so they will go too. I didn't want it to go there, so I didn't know what to do. So Pięcikiewska calling me, and she says, I would like to talk to you. I say, okay. She says, it's very nice what you're doing, that you want to go to Israel. But Israel doesn't need uneducated people. If you go to become somebody, and you can bring something to Israel, they will need you much more. She says, it's very wrong for you to go to Israel. I say, Mrs. Pięcikiewska, so who could go? I am teenage, and many of the friends over here, they will go. If I go, we can do something for Israel. And she says, I am going to get married very soon with Mr. Hamburg. Mr. Hamburg, it was head of the United Nations. He was a Jew. And she says, it would be nice if you go also to, I will take you with me to Chicago. So I was thinking, and I decided no, I will go to Israel. I told boys over there, we are going to Israel. Who wants to go can go with me. So all the boys, all the guys, and the teenagers volunteered to go with me. So many girls agreed to go also. And we decided to go through the Alps, Austria, to Italy, and from Italy to Israel. So with the whole group, we decided and we moved in. You see, we started to go to Alps. You know, we came to the border, and from the border we started to go to the mountains, because Italy stopped, didn't allow nobody to come. So we had to smuggle in to Italy. So we went in to the mountain. There was still snow. So I remember like now, many girls were sliding. They couldn't go up. How we pulled them by the hands and going up to Israel, to Alps. And we came in, and afterwards we walked through the Alps inside, and afterwards we slid down. When we were on the Italian side, we slid down to the street. American trucks were waiting for us already. And the American trucks opened the back, and we jumped in quick, not to let people see, and they closed it, and they drove us to a place to give us lunch, and we ate over there, and afterwards they took us to Castello Gandolfo. You heard about Castello Gandolfo. It was a villa for Pope Paul. He had villa in Castello Gandolfo. So many times we were walking down, going by the villa, and he blessed us from the balcony. Very nice. He was a sweet man. And so we stay over there. We stay almost a year in Italy, Castello Gandolfo. We got some jobs a little bit in Rome. You know, we went to the work in the stores and so on. And we stayed there until it came a time. It came a time and we were notified, this is the time you can go to Israel. So we all got dressed and so on, and we were driven by truck to the beach. By the beach was standing Moledet, a sheep, Moledet. But how can you go on the ship when the ship cannot stand close to the side because it's too shallow? So the ship stood much further in the sea, and there were put ropes from the door on one side and the second side. And we had a rubber boat. We sat down in the two people at a time, sat down in the rubber boat, and we pull ourselves to the boat. And when we came in over there, we were told where we will stay. So there were like a closet, boards that you have to slide in with the feet in the back, and the head you have on the aisle, but when we were laying and the sheep start to move, the people start to throw up. So it went on your head. So you were almost wet from the throwing up of others. So I ran out to the out to the railing, and we sat down on the railing, and the water was coming till the belly because too many people were staying there. So we sat there, and any time that too many people were on one side, too many people were on one side, we had to run on the other side. We had to make it even, because otherwise it would capsize. And we were going so and looking if the English ships coming or not. When we were close to Haifa, suddenly we see from far two English ships, the cruisers, big cruisers, were coming towards us. When they came to us, they start to yell, jump on our ships. But the girls and so on, they took the potatoes and start to throw on them. And they didn't want it, nobody wanted to go on the side of the ship. So what they did, they hit the ship in the front, and the ship started to go down, slowly go down. So they got scared that we will all drown, 3,000 people. So they put ropes on the mast, and they hold us afloat. And afterwards the ship even so started to go down, and more water started to come. So we had to jump on the cruisers. When we jumped on the cruisers, they told us, don't worry, you're going to Haifa. But they lied to us. We came over there, and we didn't even notice that we're going on different ship. This was prisoners' ship. And we were taken to Cyprus. And we went there to Cyprus. And when we came to Cyprus, we started to scream and yell, but you yell, where? What do you do? So we got every association. Mine was Gordonia. Gordonia, this is Democratic Association. I was the head of 126 people, and I was a madrich there. So there we stayed, and we got empty barrack, but we had to make a home for us. And every day we had a meeting and sitting and so on. And in the night, we learn how to use the guns, how to use Sten and other the ammunition. It was in dark. We had to do in dark to dismount and put together, and had to learn how to do it. The many were taken by the small boats to Israel, and many stayed there. I couldn't go because I was managing there. And this was, we went to Cyprus. We stayed there for 2 years. And many times there were troubles because we all the time we were striking and screaming and singing and all this. One time we came and there was many tanks were coming around, so we were yelling and standing on the wood, the roller woods, the wood. Too many people were standing there, and they start to roll, and everybody was thinking that this is machine gun, and they were running one after the other. It was terrible, terrible. And we stayed there until the Queen Mary also, she had a birthday, and she freed us. And we went back to Israel. When my parents were taken to concentration camp, so I got so bewildered, and I ran out and I ran to the exit. There was a policeman, a Jewish policeman, about 6 foot tall, and when I come running there, I wanted to sneak by him, so he grabbed me. So I kicked him. So after he got mad, so he put me to prison. When he put me to prison, so I was so scared that I went between the wires and I jumped out and I wanted to run again. But my sister came running and she begged me, please, you cannot accomplish nothing. You know, they have more power, so don't do nothing and stay. So I stopped. So afterwards, I was in the prison still. He put me in the prison, and afterwards I decided, that I cannot win with them, so I calmed down and I was sitting. So what was there? Yes, so afterwards, we didn't already discuss about the situation about the concentration camp and so on. And so I went home. They sent me home. And at that time when I came home, I had to go back to the school, to sign some papers, what they say. So I went there, and who was there? They brought all the Jews from outside, what they were standing, and one of them was he was Mongolite, or he was a polio-stricken guy. So he was in the wheelchair, and I was looking so pity. So they came, the soldiers, the police, and they saw him, and they start to laugh. And one of them goes in and pull out the chair from under him, and he falls on the floor. And with the legs, polio, they had children legs. So the legs are sticking, and they laughing, and they pushing, and they kicking, and they taking the wheelchair and threw down the steps from the second floor. And I was thinking, that's what will be with our lives. That's what they will do, crazy. No, but I couldn't do nothing, so we went back home. We signed some papers, and we went back home. So from then on, we started to work in near the area, and we had to work under canalization on the underwater and so on. And we did afterwards. We began to work on the street, and we worked on the street, and when we were on the street, we could go for lunch where we want. So we went always to the Polish homes and so on. So I could get some milk, I give them something, and so one of them, the head of the street builder, came up to me and he asked me if he could get some milk, if I could bring for him some milk. So I say, sure, I bring you some milk. So I went in, I went to this is like mountains I went and I got some milk, and I running back, but it was already late. And they all left. My whole group, what they were working on the street, left. So I over there, I knew that I need for my sisters. They were working by sewing uniform for the soldiers. So, but not in the same town, not in Sucha, only in Wadowice. Wadowice was different town, and so they were doing it. So I went back and I got some potatoes, and I was thinking that will be wonderful if I could send the potatoes to Wadowice to my sisters. So the head of the camp, what we were there, called me in, and he asked me why I came back so late. I was supposed to come with the whole group, and so I told him that I needed for my sister some potatoes, and I wanted to get and so on. So he says, would you like to go to see your sisters? I say, nothing better than this. You see, he was very nice to me because I was writing a life over there in the place where we were. And I wrote on him that whoever had money, so he took care on him first. And who didn't have money, so he sent out first. So that's why he did it. So he told me, you want to go to Wadowice? I can give you a pass and you can go. So I say, very good, thank you very much. And so I went, next day, I went by train to Wadowice. And I was there till about lunchtime, when the doctor, he was over there too. So he coming to run when I was playing soccer, football, and so running to me, and he says, we have to go immediately back home. I say, why? He says, don't ask, I don't know. So I was carrying a dentistry machine, the drill. So I carried this. I say, I have to take this. So, and I start to run to the bus. So my sister, the older one, starting to scream. And she says, the last time I have seen him, and he doesn't even say goodbye to me. So I heard this, so I ran back. And I say, Selma, how you can say last time you will see me? No, she says, I know. This is the last time I see you. And you don't even come to say goodbye. And so I say goodbye. And we went. When we came back to Sucha, to the ghetto, so we went to, it was dark already, we went to bed. Early morning, about 5 o'clock in the morning, we hear noises. We looking through the window, and the SS already swarming all over our places over there. And they standing with machine guns, to the door, pointing to the door, and so on. So we jump out, we got dressed, and so on. So they told us to stand with the face to the wall. So I was thinking, this is the end, they are going to shoot us. But they didn't shoot us, and so they just counted us and so on, and they said, to the train. They took us to the train, and we went to Garbersdorf, to one of the places where they sold us to work, and so we came over there, and over there I met many guys. And there, one of them, it was High Sharik. The High Sharik, what I was mentioning, this High Sharik, he right away became friend, and he says, we are going to escape together. I say, how can I escape? When I came in, I had a shoe from skiing, and there were holes. So I ran in with the shoes to the shoemaker, and I gave it to him. He says, I am not going to do nothing if you don't give me money. So whatever money I had, I took out and I gave it to him. So he said, okay, 1 week. But it passed many, many weeks, and he didn't do nothing. He didn't give me the shoes back. And one day, the assessment or whoever it is, he says that whoever doesn't have shoes, I will give him some shoes. So pick up the hand. So I pick up the hand, I don't have the shoes. So when I told him I don't have, so he called us and put stand on the side. Who is coming? The shoemaker. He says, I have a shoes of his. He gave me the shoes, and they will be soon ready. They were laying already about few months there. But he says, they will be ready. And he said, so the assessment, they come and he slapped me on the face. You're lying. You did this. And I swore that when we can ever come out from concentration camp, I will pay him for it. But what could I do? So we were working over there. I did without the shoes. I had my old shoes with the toes were coming out and water and so on. I did any work, everything. But the most important, they took me for being elevator helper. Elevator helper, it's a wonderful job. I was just sitting with the old man, and he told me stories and so on. He was pretty nice and so on. So when afterwards, we were working and so on, and afterwards they needed somebody to help to mix cement. So they took me down, took me away, so to mix cement. So I was mixing cement with a German master there, who is coming, two boys from France, two brothers. They coming, passing by, and they said, telling to me that I could hardly understand, that I will tell them if somebody coming or something. I didn't even answer because the master was not next to me and so on. So afterwards, about a few hours later, they coming to me and they grab me. Come, you are trying to steal.
Who grabbed you?
I say, what? He says, you with the two Frenchmen, you went in to steal potatoes. I say, I had nothing to do with it. I was here working and so. Never mind, they don't want to hear. They getting me over inside, and afterwards they decided, they talked to the head of the camp, they decided I will get 12 lashes. I say, for what? I didn't do nothing, and they were talking to me something I didn't even understood what they wanted. So they took me, and I will get the 12 lashes. There was one couple worked by the name Feiner. This Feiner, it was very nice guy, and he was like a family of the. So he says, let me give him the 12 lashes. So I go in, and he trying to hit, but he trying to not with the. There is the same couple over there by the name Paul. He is from, he was a butcher, animal, and everybody hates him. He wants to show the SS that he is better. he says, "You're not doing the right. Come here, give me the..." And he started to lash me. And my blood start to come out from him. But he doesn't pay attention. So what could I do? I didn't say nothing. I just, in my mind, I swore that I killed this guy when I come out someday. So, but nothing I couldn't do, nothing here. And so, but I was a doctor helper. So the doctor right away grabbed me by the hand and pulled me inside. I pulled down my pants, and he put like a bandages and this on this, and he stopped the bleeding. But I always believed that I come out.
Okay.
I had very strongly believed. I had a friend, and he was studying for a dentist, doctor dentist. And when we were sleeping, I had the top bed, and he had the top bed. And we were always in the evening sitting and talking when we come out, what we will do, and so on. And you know, we believe in it, that's it.
Do you remember what you thought you were going to do after the war?
Pardon?
Do you remember what you said? Do you remember what you wanted to do after the war?
Oh yeah, I wanted to find the Paul. His name was Paul, the butcher. And I was looking everywhere. I was asking for him.
After the war?
After the war, but he was hiding because he knew how many people looking for him. And I was thinking already what I am doing to him, you know. First of all, he was very powerful, very strong. He was butcher from, so it would not be so simple. So we plan how we will do it. But this was all the plan only. And also, the second, I was thinking the shoemaker. The shoemaker, what he came and he told the SS that my shoes are in his, and for a few months he didn't do nothing. And whenever I went there and asked him, give me more money, I give you shoes. That's what it was. So it was, everything was coming closer, you know, and afterwards we had new from Freiburg, it was, they changed it, they took us all to Waldenburg.
How did you get to Waldenburg?
This was Waldenburg and Wałbrzych, they were close to each other, not far. So the truck came in, took us, and they put us inside in the big wired place with two empty barracks. And so over there was decided that who will be the doctor, who will be the Verpflegungsschreiber, this is the improvisator, and so on. And everything, it came good for me, because they, doctor and improvisator, everybody was from my town, and we were all like one family. So the doctor all the time kept me as his helper. And I remember how one time the doctor called me and he says, I have very bad operation. And I say, who is this? He says, one of our people there. So I came to help him, and the man lay, and he opened on the side of the backside there, open, and he started to put jodoform. You know what is jodoform? This is a gas what it smells like ether and so. And he started to put inside when he took out, so liquid came out. So he started to put there, and he worked maybe hour on him, and I was helping him, and we were holding, it smells so, and he died.
The man on the table?
He died. So over there in the same place, I was laying, I had a place to lay and seeing the other beds. One night I am laying and looking, and the guy laying on the other bed looking at me. And I am thinking, why he's looking at me? So I turn back. I turn over again. He's looking at me. He was looking and looking the whole night. In the morning, I call the couple and I say, there is a man, he's looking all the time, didn't sleep. So they looking, touching him, he is dead. He was laying dead, that's why he didn't, his eyes.
Was it hard to work at Wallenberg?
Oh yeah, we were working, but we were used to work and so on, that, over there, that when I have still bandages on the backside, not SS, he wasn't SS, this was different. He came in that he wants us to play soccer. And okay, I cannot walk. And I say, I cannot walk, I got no, you have to play. So I had to play soccer also. We came from work and we playing soccer. So we were not working too hard, but we were used, like, for example, there were a foundation built, and the foundation had a wiring inside that you have to tie it up with a small wire and to put them together. So like, you see, the friend of mine, what became doctor, and so he said that, I have a friend, on me, that I have a friend, what he was doing such work, he is good. So they called me especially that I will put the wires on. So we didn't work too hard.
Did you have a uniform?
Pardon?
Did you have a uniform at Waldenberg?
Over there, we didn't have a uniform.
Did you have a number at Waldenberg?
We had regular clothes. But this was the time from Freiburg. And after Freiburg, when we were over, we went to Waldenberg, to the place what barracks were already, the hospital and so on. It changed everything. The SS man, what he became the head of our whole this, he was like a god. You have to salute him and so on. and he made from you like rug, whatever. He made it that there were doors from the two big barracks. It was door that about how many, maybe a few thousand people had to run through. He told us, 10 minutes, I allow you to go through the door. 10 minutes was impossible. So everybody was pushing through the door, and so that we broke the door. Because, and why? And he had a German Shepherd. And if you didn't made what he said, he let the German Shepherd run. So he tore the pens. The tearing pens was nothing, but you had to sew it in the evening, and you had to come. He was looking, watching if you have all right. There was winter, cold, frozen. You was not allowed only the uniform on yourself. So what we did, we took the cement, paper in the middle is clean paper, nice paper. So we tore a piece and put under the body, so it's much warmer. So what he found out, we called, come here, and he put the finger, and the paper makes noise. So slap you on the face, kick you, and all. He did whatever he could to make your life miserable. But every week, almost, he was selling cigarettes. He had lot cigarettes what he was given for us. So he was selling it. So he first took 2 packages. He says, this is $1. You know, like 1 mark. 1 mark. So, you know, nobody wanted to take chances, you know, because we knew that he will beat him. You are not allowed to have money. So nobody taking. So he says, okay, 4 packages for 1 mark. There always came in one of them take chances. So he came in and he said, you see, he's not afraid. He said, here you have 4 packages. So he says, who wants 4 packages again for? So already 3, 4 guys. And so he made it believe. He all the time many tricks. But when he whistled, you had to stay in the line and on Achtung, you know. So I knew not chance for me, because I am on 2nd floor. Till I come down, it will be 10 minutes over. So I went to the window and I saw what window to take, and I jumped. And it was success. So any time in the morning, I was already by the window and I was jumping down. Afterwards, one day, they caught the high sheriff again. He escaped. So when they caught him, so the doctor was supposed to amputate his toes. So the doctor did the best he could, because he knew he was once a friend of mine and so on. And afterwards, when he was amputated, so he very fast he was healing. So after he was jumping all over, but the SS was looking through the window, through the hole of the door, and he saw how he done jumping. So he said he has to go to work. When he went to work, so he had to have, a bed, and he cannot stay in the hospital anymore. So nobody wanted to take him. Everybody knew, High Sheriff, he is bad, this. So, like I already told the last time, when he was stealing, so he stole from the head of the room, he stole bread. So afterwards, I found the bread, so I told him, put the bread back. So he was enemy of mine till the end. So after when already the war started to come to the close, we started to hear change. So we all were listening, and we found out that the Russians were starting to come closer. So when the Russians started to come, so the Germans didn't know how to protect themselves. So they took us and they made on the road, what is running road from the place, so to dig and to make a very deep hole. So we started to make the hole. Afterwards, or second hole, and third hole. And we were working and working like crazy. And so it came some officer, big officer, and he checked. He was watching from the forest with binoculars and so on, who is working and who is, playing and so. So he was shooting. I don't know if he was shooting to kill somebody or he was just scaring. It was coming closer and closer. But the Russian, when they came in, we found out that they were laughing from it. The tank drove in, and he opened a bridge, and all tanks start to go over it. They were very smart. In the camp, there was one, what he was speaking Russian, only Russian. He was studying, he was from France, and he was studying in Russia, and I don't know how he was caught, and that he was in our camp there. And he was talking to me only Russian. And he was teaching me songs Russian and all this. And he says all the time, you will see, you will need it one day. You will need it. And it came time that I started to need it. Because when the Russian came, when the Russian tanks rolled in, so I was marching with one of the SS, and he wanted to give us in a good spirit, like to the Russians. So when we came closer, so the tank, the big, what you call it, what bullet goes with it, came down on us, like they will shoot us, but only for fun, for this. So after we come closer, so the Russians with mustaches like this jump down and start to hug each other, and so on. And the SS, what he was leading our group, he was walking near us. And when he was walking, after the Russians enter already, so he went in on a high place and started to talk. And he was saying, brothers, we are free. Brothers, he called us. But he was always good to us. He was trying to give to somebody who could not walk already, so he gave him bread, to give him our bread and so on. So what we wanted to reciprocate. So we went to outside, and we went whatever somebody saw, blankets, whatever, and everybody was bringing in the hands. And so when we came to him, he was still standing and speaking. So we gave him. So he says, put here. He says, what I do with all this? He says, thank you, but it's much too much, and my mobile house is too small for all this. He had over there Mongolite. He had a child disformed. So he was very nice, and what he did a big trick. The head assessment, they had a big tractor for us to take us with the tractor out to run with us. So he told the SS, don't go. When you go with them, they catch you. So you will be in bigger trouble. We go together, I go with you. But he was lying to him. He hid, and the SS was looking all over in the camp. He could not find him. And we were laughing because he was so panicky and nervous, running and looking for him, and he could not find him because he hid himself. So afterwards, when the Russian came in, so we asked the officer Russian to give a paper to the German that somebody will not punish him or do something to him. So he got big paper, and he was so proud of the paper. He was waving and showing us the paper. What I do, I don't want to stay inside. The whole steps from the camp they were throwing up because they started to eat and the body could not take it. So they threw up. You could not walk on the steps. So I ran outside. I came outside, but I always believed that God wants me, that He likes me. And I went inside, and I saw beautiful bottles, small bottles, and I'm asking some Germans sitting there, what is this? They say, the best liquor, you never drink better, and so on. So I fill up packets with them. I go outside, I want to try it. I hit on the stone on the side of the building. It splits in 1, 2, 3, about 4. And I cannot even try a drop. I'm coming in to the camp, and I say to the doctor, Cuba, you see, his name was Cuba, and I was with him, friends like that, and I say, I have a liquor for you, the best. I am trying to give him. He looking on this, he said, did you try it? I say, how could I try it? They split. He says, there is inside the biggest poison that ever existed. 1 drop could kill a person. And stupid me, I wanted to kill myself after all this.
Well, lucky you.
Yeah.
And how did you feel once you were liberated?
So, I was okay. So I am thinking, okay, I have to go and start to look for my sister. Because my sister, one of them, was put to Garbersdorf. Garbersdorf, this was a big camp, what we heard about it.
Which sister?
Here I have three boys and 1 girl from my sister. Mm-hmm. And she died so tragically,
Which sister were you going to look for, though? Was it Selma?
The one what she had the children. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I am going to look for them. So I am thinking I have to find myself a bicycle to ride. So I am going out, and they are Russian. Many Russians, and they have a ramp on the street, and they are confiscating bicycles, and there are hundreds standing there. So I am coming up to them, and I start to talk to them. They say, they don't understand us, the Germans. So I say, I am speaking Russian. I used to speak fluently. I am speaking, please come on, sit down, work with us, and so. So I'm thinking, I will get some bites. So I went, I sat down, and I sat with a few hours. When I finished, I was asking, can I get 2 bikes? He says, take it. Which one? So I picked up 2 beautiful bikes, one for me, one for the doctor, for my friend. He had two sisters to look for, and I had 1 sister. So I took the bike, and next day, him and me start to ride. So we start to ride, and riding almost there. We coming to one place, we see many Jews sitting on the truck and sitting there. So they calling us. They see our uniform. They call, come on, sit down on the truck, and so we jump on the truck. I didn't know, but I think this was the German would save so many Jews, That's what must have been. Mm-hmm. Because he was so nice, and everybody was so dancing near him, and they bring him different things. He must have been the one. So we talk to him, we shake hands, and afterwards They went different direction. I took bike and I went to different direction. But my friend, I knew where I am looking. I was going for Garbelsdorf, and he was going Regensdorf and different places. So he says, Saul, I am going to meet you in Garbelsdorf. Your sister is over there, so I meet you there. I say, okay. So I am riding the bike, and I am coming closer, closer, and I'm thinking, I will see my sister now, and I am coming to the gate of the Garbelsdorf. About maybe 100 girls running out. Saul is here! Saul is here! I am looking, what? How they know Saul, that I am Saul. I say, how you know that I am Saul? She says, Silla, your sister, told everybody, don't leave the camp because Saul is on the way. And how she knew? I say, how she knew? And the mother came into a sleep. And mother told her, don't leave the camp because Saul is close coming to you. So I took one and one. When my mother was telling to my sister, so she must be alive over there. So I think they are alive. They are alive because she knew that I am on the way. So I knew that all the girls waiting for me, so I was afraid what I do with so many girls to some food, some this or some what. So I told my sister, you have friends, you tell the friends that we are living in the night and we're going out from here. So she says, okay, she had 2 girls friends. So she told them, we're going out. So in the morning, I am getting up quietly, everybody getting up, and we start to go out. And about 15 girls running after. We are here too, we are. So I was afraid, what I do, how. So, but I went out, and it was a column of trucks, Russian trucks, passing by. And I was stupid. I felt too sure about myself that I am speaking Russian, so I will know how to. So I went to the middle of the road and I stopped. Здравствуйте, you know. So the truck came in and he touched me. He came so close. If he would hit me, I am going bye-bye. So what happened, when I was talking to him, to the head of this, he asked me if I know how to read German. He has a list from Russia, and he has to meet with some different soldiers or different something, different places, and he showed me where. And I say, I am going this direction, I know where. When I am talking to him, all the girls jumping on the trucks, and the truck was almost full, you know. So afterwards we start to, you know, that he told me to sit down near him, and we tried to drive. So we drove, and I saw on the list we coming close. If I would have gone with this street, I would have hit the town what he wanted. But my Waldenburg was different direction, so I didn't tell him. And I was afraid if he catch me, he kills me, you know. And so on. We came not too far from Waldenburg. I told everybody jump out from trucks, and I told them, you go in this direction. And they went away, and I came into Waldenburg. We drove into, the girls walked not too far, and we came to Waldenburg, and each girl found herself a boyfriend. This is the way how many got married afterwards. But over there, I met my friend Heischerig again. And when I met him, so he, he says, you want to see something? And he takes me to the room and he opened, and he has large watches and all different. He says, but with stupid like you, I couldn't have this. I knew that he was hating me for letting him give back the bread to the... I say, you dumb head, I wouldn't go with you. I don't want to know you. You go your way, and I don't want to know you. He says, Saul, wait. I say, go to hell. I don't want to. So I left him, and I went my way. And I had a group.
Were you with your sister?
Pardon?
Was Selma with you still? Was Selma, your sister, with you?
Oh, yeah, of course. I got my sister.
What was it like when you first saw her?
She started to cry. Yeah. She was so happy. Poor girl. The two girls also were so happy that they are... You see, this was so. The Russian headquarters was not far from there. And one of the Russians raped one of the girls and bit off her breasts. And that's why they were so scared, and they didn't want to stay there, and they wanted to leave. But my mother stopped them. They told them that I am coming, so that they waited.
How did you know where your sister was how did you know that she was at that camp?
How did I know?
That your sister was at the camp nearby.
Oh, because, you see, we knew when they were taken away. And my friend, it was a doctor. And he had better way to find out things that I do. And this was his sisters, two sisters. One of them was the head of the whole camp, the sister, the young girl. And other one was not. And so always he wanted to know where, what, and so. So he was finding out, and I was finding out from him. And so we were pretty good informed, And in many places I went in, they were banks, and I could have taken the whole sack of money, German money, but we didn't think that it's worth anything. And so when we took the silver mark, we were breaking windows in the bank. We were hitting, who will hit this window? You know, we were so ignorant and so on.
And where did you and your sister go next?
Pardon?
Where did you and your sister go next?
I found a place. You see, all the German, the woman and so, ran and begged you, please come to my house. Because we were the protection to them. The Russian, when I came out, and he saw me, oh, okay, здравствуйте, you know, and went away. But when he saw a woman, he was talking different, you know. So they were scared to death, begging, please come to my house. And I had a very bad luck also. I have my friend, the doctor will become, he came to me and he always started to tell many stories about this. And he tells me story. You know, the Germans, they were taking our children by the leg and they hit on the wall. So he wants to show me how he grabs a doll and takes and hit on the, he was thinking this is rubber, but this was a plastic or so, and fall apart. This woman goes in, sees the doll broken, she crying, and she ran to headquarters, Russian headquarters. When she went over there, next day in the morning is coming a truck and going in, and two men were there. This was my friend, one of my sister brother, and me. Right away grab me, want to put chain. I speak to him Russian. I say, don't have to put chain. And so I go with you. And so he takes me to the headquarters, Russian headquarters. So when I come over there, so I cannot go in. I stay by the door. And he sits over there, maybe about 50 feet away. And he yells, you disregarded our orders, he says. You going to Siberia. And he tells me the whole story. He didn't know that I am speaking Russian, so I am telling him, this was a doll. And they were killing our children. And I told him, he looking at me, iди домой, go home. So I went out and stupid me. I am going and I am seeing the walking officers, Russians, with all medals here. And so I and my friend, we're singing, Amhu, Amhu, Amhu. You heard this word, Amhu?
Mm-mm.
No?
What does that mean?
Amhu is international word Jew. So we're singing, Amhu, Amhu, Amhu. We're passing by one big officer, big, with all the medallion. He says, Amhu? I say, Amhu. Afterwards, I start to talk to him. And I tell him the whole story about her, how she ran to headquarters to put me in. He says, come with me. He says, and I am stupid again. I don't tell him that this is not 100 feet. This is pretty far. So I am going and going, and he walks, and he was fat. and he starts to sweat. And afterwards he's telling me, why didn't you tell me that this is so far? I say, I'm sorry, I didn't know the road. I knew I came by truck, I didn't. He says, I could have taken car, he says. But he said, okay, come tomorrow. And we will teach her lesson, he says. I will teach her. He said, come tomorrow, I take the truck. And so I say, thank you, and I say, здравствуйте, and he takes me, he goes home, and I go, and I see how far is it. I come home and so on, and next day morning, I tell to my friend, we have to go to him, he's waiting. I am going there, and I don't know the name. How can I go when I don't know the name? So I am coming to the headquarters, and I start to speak Russian, that I'm looking for this. He says, what is his name? I say, I don't know, but he has many medals over here. He calls in, see here how many medals he has. You know, everybody has full medals on this. And I don't know who he is. So I am going home and didn't do nothing to her. So, I you know, I like to investigate, and I am thinking, okay, tomorrow I will go someplace. So next day, I am getting up in the morning, and I want to go to the town to see what. I go to the town, and what happened, I am going in, I see steps, high steps. I walk the steps, and I am entering a house. When I enter a house, I hear a child crying. So I go by listening, where's the child? I come into the crib, and I start to play with the child. A woman coming, jumping from under bed. Please don't kill my child. Please don't kill my child. I say, who told you I will kill your child? I wouldn't kill any child. And so she says, no, the German told them that the Russian and we, the Jews, what they are in concentration camp, they are killing, cutting off the ears, and murdering. And so I start to laugh. I say, don't believe the lies. They want to save themselves. And so she says, but my mother believed it, and my mother is dead. I say, well, what are you talking? She says, in the kitchen, she poisoned herself. She opened a kitchen gas. She poisoned herself. I say, you show me where's the kitchen. So she's showing me here, but the door is closed. So I'm telling to her, open the door and go in and close the gas. She says, I am afraid. I never close the gas. I never. So I go to the balcony from outside, and I break the window, and the air come in, and I kick the door. And when I kick, the gas hit me. And I see the mother woman laying on and the boy, young boy laying there. But when I opened the window, said everything come, so even nobody closed the stove, still this went away the gas. And the mother comes to life. And the daughter tells the mother that I saved them, that the Germans lie, that this is nobody, the Russians don't kill nobody, that this. And the mother said, thank you, dankeschön, dankeschön. She wants to kiss my hands. I said, don't do it. So after talking to me, she goes into the closet and opens the closet. Come, take everything. What do you want? Take everything. I say, I don't need nothing. I don't want anything. She says, no. She says, take something. I say, no, but I see an accordion hanging on the wall. And I always wanted to have accordion. So I say to her, if you want to give me this accordion, she says, take it. And she holds my hands, and she is so grateful. Okay, I take the accordion and I am going out. I am walking out. Who is coming? Russian soldiers walking up the steps. And they see my accordion. So the Russian is saying, you're thinking that I'm afraid from him, so he says, oh, давай, гармошка. I say, oh, no, the garmoshka my. So he grabs from one side. I hold the other side, and we tear in the hair. And I didn't give him. So I went home, and afterwards I was thinking, where should I go and so on. And there are many places I could go, but just it was tragic to go to here, because you see every time I had to pass by our people from my camp, dead here. Everybody was eating like a pig, and he died, and he threw up, and it was terrible. It was terrible. So afterwards, I am walking so on the street, and I'm thinking, now I am free, what to do, and so I hear screaming. So I go where they're screaming. I go, and there is a young German girl, and she crying. She says, they are breaking my house. I am going, seeing from my camp. My guys break. So I came in and I say, what, you crazy? I stopped them. So she's so happy. She wants to marry me already. She's telling me, I have family in America, and we getting married, and you go to America. So it was unbelievable. Wherever you go, you see the terrible, terrible thing. And I try to stop many things, many times. You see, in camp they knew me, and many guys, they had good respect from me, because I was always with the doctor, was here, and when many times they were giving shots. You see, we used to have lot of boils under the hand. So when you take blood from the backside and you put in hand, or you take from hand and put in backside, so you mixing the blood, so the boils go away. So we learn about so I was helping doctor all the time, and I was washing the syringes and so on. And so many times the doctor told me, even, why don't you do the, but I didn't want it. I still was away from the blood and so. So afterwards,
When did you go to Austria?
I was there, and the girls, the friends of my sister and so on, my sister wants to stay, already to go to Austria, and I decided, okay, to go to Austria with the girls and with my sister and so on, and we went to Austria, and there became New Palestine. The New Palestine, it became in a part of Parsh. This was a place that streetcar was coming and stopping. This was the last stop. And I was elected over there, head of the teenage. So I started to get communication with the American. She was a major from Montgomery headquarters, and she was in United Nations. She was a wonderful, very, very nice lady. I have many different ideas and so on. We were making dances over there. We were making movies and so. And we are there starting to get satisfied and so. I am thinking I am going to write a piece of theater. So I wrote Homecoming. I wrote it. And we tried to play. But it was everything in Polish. And Polish, I didn't know any other language. And Polish, it was very easy for me and so on. And then Mrs. Pięcikiewska was very satisfied that, in her language, she was a Polish. So when we wrote this, we were playing it in Bad Gastein, in different places, and in over there in Parsh. But one time when we, had opening of the play and so on, so I am going out and talking to the public, and I am speaking Polish. They start to booze me. Yiddish, we don't want Polish. Yiddish. So I don't speak Yiddish, I didn't speak Yiddish, and what I will talk. So I see I'm like what to do. So she comes out and she says, I want to speak, Mrs. Pięcikiewska. And she starts to speak English. They start to booze her. We're not speaking English. She says, not Polish. I know only Polish and I only English. You don't want to hear me, so I am sorry. No, we want to hear you, but so afterwards she goes out and speak Polish. And she tells everybody, you see, there was many Jews came into Poland and they got killed. You see, many homes were taken by Polish, and some of the homes what they have own. So the owner of the home came in, so they wanted to get rid of them before they will take over so they killed them and so. So afterwards we talked with Mrs. Pięcikiewska, and we understood what happened and so on. So this Mrs. Pięcikiewska was very, very nice, and she always was talking about Israel, and very nice that in the same time is coming to me the head of the regular people over there, because I was only of teenagers, and coming to me, and he says, why don't you go to Israel? How can you let Israel without people and youngsters and so on? So I'm thinking, and I decide that I will go to Israel. I decided I go to Israel, and I made it known to the teenagers and so, and I got big groups of the teenagers that they want to go to Israel.
Was it Israel already, or was it the British Mandate of Palestine at that point?
Pardon?
Was it the state of Israel created already, or was it still the British Mandate of Palestine?
Yes.
Was Israel a state yet? What year was this? What year were you talking? What years were you in Austria for?
In 1945, 46, 47.
So it wasn't the state of Israel yet?
No.
Not yet?
No. And so afterwards I am talking to Mrs. Pięcikiewska talks to me, and she takes me on side, and she says, I want to talk to you. And she tells me, how you going to Palestine? What you will do? What can you give to Palestine for the people when you are alone, uneducated, you didn't finish schools and so on? Why don't you wait when I marry Mr. Hamburg? Mr. Hamburg was a Jewish guy, and he was from Chicago. And when I marry, I will adopt you, and you go to afterwards, I don't mind if you will leave and go to Palestine when you will give to Palestine something. So I told her, that's very nice of you, thank you so much, but this would be a long time to wait, and I need to go now. I want to help now, and so on. So I took a big group, and we went through the Alps.
Did your sister come with you?
Pardon?
Did your sister come through the Alps
My
with you?
sister, no. But my first wife, she went with me, and she threw everything on the Alps, on the snow, and she could not walk, and so I was pulling her, and we went in till we came to the better, places to, and afterwards we came in the middle of the mountain, there were waiting American trucks. And the American trucks, they had a cover in the back. They right away uncover, and we jumped in, and they took us. And they took us someplace to eat first. And after we ate, we entered the train. And I remember how we started to speak Italian. We didn't know a word, but you know. So we went till Castello Gandolfo. We came there. There was already Pope Paul over there, and he greeting us with a blessing, and we entered and we stayed there. We stayed there for almost 1 year. United Nations was coming every few months and check on us, but they checked and so on, and they left. And we stayed there until we were notified that the ship is already waiting. And the ship was waiting in Bari. Bari, it was very shallow on this, so they took a rubber boat and attached them to the door, and 2 people in a rubber boat pulled themselves, and this way we came about 3,000 people to the ship. When we came to the ship left, and we were always looking if the English coming or something. And our luck was that the English came in not far from Haifa. When they came in, they took us in a ship for the German prisoners to Cyprus. When we came to Cyprus, we got a barracks, and the barracks, every group, I had a group, I had 26 something people, so we got the barracks, so we had to divide with different blankets and so on for women, this. And we start to build right away to put like near, it was the barrack, it was like here. We started to build over here a wall. And here between this we made a table from the earth and seats that we could always eat there. And it was, we went to the mountains and we brought different branches of the wood, and we cover and we stay over there. And we stay for almost 2 years over there. And in the night, we were learning how to shoot, how to dismount, stand, and other carabine and all this. And we didn't waste the time. We learned.
Who was teaching you?
Many people, what they were ready, they were taken with Haganah right away to Israel. But not too many, you know. And every time that there was, the tanks were going all around, and one time that we were standing on the bunch of wood, what they were rolling, and they were thinking that the tanks are shooting. The people were running, trapping on one on the other, and so on. But we were there, and we got soles for shoes. We got many other things, and also we learned Hebrew. We learned over there Hebrew, and I had to go to do like school and to learn, because they say the madrich supposed to know, and so on. And so I went. And we were there, how long? 2 years. After 2 years, we were released by Queen Mary. She had a birthday, and she released us. So we came back. We came back to Israel and so on. But not to Israel. You see, they didn't let us to come to Israel. We were still in Germany, in different places, but not, we could not enter Israel. And afterwards it came Exodus. And when came the Exodus, we enter Israel. And I started to work in an immigration house. I was working in a kitchen, not in cooking, just to delivering the food to the people. I was over there working. Afterwards, I advanced myself, and I became a menachel. I became menahel in the kitchen. So in one of the kitchen, in Athlete, I was managing the kitchen, and they brought over there from Teimanim, over 10,000 people. And the Teimanim, they were staying there, living there, and coming, they were sending the children to stay in line from morning to night. The children, afterwards, they changed, and so on and so. And there was a big story. I always needed some people to help to peel potatoes, to clean up or whatever. Even we had 56 girls working in kitchen. So what happened, I asked the head of the Teimanim that he would send few wives. They had 10 wives, and they were allowed to have many wives. So I asked them to send, some woman to peel potatoes and so. So he agreed. He right away sent someone. They came and started to work, peel potato and so. Before they left, our ways was always to give them something for it. So I took few potatoes to give to each one of the women, and different things, piece of bread and so on. It took about half hour. He is running with his boys around, and they carrying a sack. He comes to me and threw to me the sack. He say, "You giving this to me? You know who I am." I say, "I am sorry. Why? What happened?" I could not find words, and so he says, "You come with me." So I go and follow him, and he takes me to his barrack, and he takes out a big box from under the door on a bed, and opens the box, and he shows me he has almost full golden English pounds. I didn't believe my eyes. I say, "I am sorry, I know, I didn't know that you are so." He says, "Yes, and you giving me." And afterwards he goes into other box, in taking out the English cigarettes, the long one, different one. And he says, "Here, to me." That's all. And I was so surprised and so on. And afterwards, he became good friends of mine, and he was, anytime I had a problem, they always were striking. So they with the white flags and so on, the boo, 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 and so. But he was my good friend, and I was very friendly with him. He even offered me to marry his youngest daughter. And the youngest daughter was about 14.
Who did you marry?
And I say, "We're not marrying, we're so young." And so he had maybe 6 or 7 women, wives. But they all listened to him. He was like a god to them, and very, very nice. I was working over there in Athlete for pretty long time until they closed Athlete. And afterwards I started to work in Sharalia. And I worked in Sharalia for a long time, managing over there, until I decided I want to go to the sea. So I went on Kedma. You heard the ship Kedma. This was the first ship what started to going to France and Genova, Marseille, Genova, and Israel. And we were bringing new olim and so. And I was on the ship pretty long. And afterwards, Kedma, started to be too tall and too narrow when the wind came in, so it was going this way. So they sold some places, and it became Jerusalem. And after Israel, and I worked on all the ships. I was a sailor of it. And for a pretty long time. But I didn't tell you the story how we came the second time to Israel with, this was, I came already with my son.
When did you have a son?
In Cyprus.
Did you get married in Cyprus?
Yes.
What was your wife's name?
Clara.
And what was your son's name?
Max,
Did they go to Israel with you?
and he's here.
Oh.
And he is very educated. He has 2 diplomas, he is already 75 years old. So that's it. We came afterwards the second time to Israel, and it was very terrible. When I came, we were looking for job, and we couldn't get the first week. So we went to a place that they were building. So they came in and they checked the muscles, if we have muscles. And afterwards we got a job to work in mixing cement. So I mixed cement till 12 o'clock. Afterwards I was thinking, for this I came to Israel. So I told this guy, you pay me whatever I worked here, and I am going. So I left. He gave me £1. I took the pound and I went to the bus and I went to Haifa. When I came to Haifa, I went to see Mapai. I was in Gordonia, and I was head in Gordonia for some times. So I was thinking to see the guy from Mapai. Who was this? It was a head of Haifa, of the whole Mapai, Dines. He starts to talk to me, and I tell him some stories, and he gets up and he gives me a hug. And he says, you need a job? I say, of course, that's what I came for. So he says, go in, and he gave me a job in Kiryat Eliyahu. Kiryat Eliyahu, he gave me job in in immigration, the lunches. So I was working over there sometimes until he, it was a big stories. I don't want to go too far, in the. You see, I was working on the ship. I have to tell you this story. I was working on the ship, and they are cars, so we have to tie up the cars to. I am coming with my friend to this to tie up the cars. There is already a group of sailors. Okay, I am doing my job, and after he calls to me, one of the guys, what they were there, he says, would you like a shirt? And threw to me shirt. I say, what, are you crazy? I don't need any shirts and so. So I take this shirt and I put in a paper because it was clean and threw back to him. What he does, he takes the shirt, puts back in the car. He puts back in the car, and so. We are coming to Haifa. The guy, what he had the car, notifying police, they broke to his car. They going in, they find a piece of paper. And whose print is on it? My. So I went something like this. One from captain from Tel Aviv calls in to arrest him, whoever he is, arrest him. I am calling to my man Dines. So Dines calls into the police department, out! I want him out right now. I am coming out. And afterwards he calls in the captain and he gives him a hell. This Dines, he becomes the Israeli, the foreign ambassador in Italy, and so he was a very important person, and he became my like brother, you know, and so you can imagine how you can find yourself, you know, such bombs were over there already on the ship, you know. They play.
When did you go to the United States?
To United States, I went in 1955.
And why did you leave Israel to go to the United States?
You see, I tell you, I didn't want to leave it because my Dines, he was a speaker in Israel, and he asked me if I would like to bring a car from United States and take him to all the speeches where he's going, and I will be getting pay for it. And he would like me to be over here in Israel. And I told him, I'm sorry, but my wife, she is English.
Clara?
Pardon?
Clara?
No, I was not already, I was divorced with her.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had, you know, English, this, you see, and I said, my wife, she was already in America. She was there, and she wanted me to emigrate. I didn't want it. I asked her to come to Israel. She says, I came from Israel, and I don't want to stay anymore in Israel. She came from Israel, and she was working in Sharaliyah.
Oh, really?
Also. So that's my short story. I didn't tell you the whole thing, you know.
Did you have any more kids with your new wife?
Yes, and...
How many kids do you have?
Oh, I have 3.
What are their names?
2 girls and 1 boy. The boy is Max, and his wife was a teacher in Hebrew, and he was in Israel for a long time also.
And what are your daughters' names?
Pardon?
What are your 2 daughters named?
My daughter is, one is 67, and the other is 62.
And what are their names?
Huh?
What are their names?
Sandy is the younger, and Jean is the older.
And do you have any grandchildren?
Grandchildren I have from Max only. I have 5
grandchildren.
Yes, beautiful, yeah.
And did you talk to Max and When your children were younger, did you talk to them about your experiences in the Holocaust?
Yes, they know much, but not everything. You know, one of the girls, she says, is too rough, she doesn't like to hear. You know, Katarina, the one here, also she cannot hear. She says, no, this is terrible, no. And I tell you, I live with the memory. I did whatever I could. I remember still how I was walking on the hill in Israel with the carabine and looking the other side of the hill if the Arab coming. And I was thinking, you know, I killed him. I never knew him. And maybe he kills me. And so I was in Savad there too. I didn't tell you that story, no. But I was very idealistic. And I wanted the best for Israel. But, you know, like Mrs. Pędzikowska said, I was uneducated to do all the job what they're supposed to do. You know, I went so many times. I mean, I went to Israel back, and I was on the ships when what we brought olim and so on. And I always talked to the olim, and they asked me questions and so on. And in many olims, what I was bringing back from Israel, I asked them, why didn't you stay there? They told me, do you know the laws over there? I say, what? I am bringing all the money, and I owe 48%, and they owe 52%. He says, I never made business like this. He says, I invest everything, and they will tell me, you cannot do this, you cannot do this. My brother-in-law, he came over there to Israel from Austria, and he brought many things, incubator, many things. And you know that the incubator was standing outside of my brother's door, and they didn't let him. He brought a group, what they wanted to have a buses. So he could not. They would not let to have any new buses, only the ones what they had there. And he says, I did everything possible. You know, so...
I have one last question for you.
Pardon?
I have one last question for you.
Yes.
Do you have a wish or a message for future generations?
It hurts me very much, just what happened now with Hamas and so on. Maybe my stupid thinking, I am thinking if I would be younger, I would do something. But you know, is terrible. It's terrible that they allow to this, that they came to the point that they let Hamas to enter. And so they didn't protect themselves enough. You know, Hamas, who they are, Iranian. The Jew hater or Iranian. There was, to my house was coming here a man, what he was in Iran, and he was teaching the Iranian by the king. He was teaching them how to fight and so on. And they were in good relation and so on. I am sorry that it came to the point. I regret that I cannot hear everything so well because I am deaf. But otherwise, I would be sitting by this hours and hours and hours. But is something wrong that they allow so far to do already?
Okay, I have one more question for you. We'll end on a happy note. How was your 100th birthday? What did you do to celebrate your 100th birthday? Oops.
Oh, I tell you, I had over 100 people. There were many, many. And, you know, I didn't think that I deserved such a big crew. It was really very nice. And, you know, I have from my sister what I took her from the camp. So the 3 boys and 1 daughter, they all were there, and the grandchildren and all this, and home of my my nephew. We were in the home of my nephew. You know, this is a big home he has. So it was, you know, I don't know. It's something very wrong that they allow to Hamas to come to this point. Maybe, I don't know. You see, I am always waiting for my son. When he comes here, he tells me all the story about the Hamas and, you know. Mm-hmm. He was managing in Boeing over there. Mm-hmm. He was a pretty good job he had. And his wife was teaching Hebrew. My name is Saul Rubenfeld.
And when were you born?
1924.
And where were you born?
In Rajca, Poland.
Do you have a hope or message for the current generation or for future generations?
Yes, yes. You know, we are Jews, and we are minority, and we are in big trouble in Israel and everywhere. Don't believe whatever they tell you outside. You are Jew, dirty, or whatever. Be proud. Be proud to be Jew. And to proud to fight and do everything for Israel. That is my echo.
Thank you so much, Saul.
1, 2, 3, and
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Thank you.